Hello, hello. I think my mic wasn't plugged in, which is, off to a good start. But, yeah, if you guys can hear me, the stream is going to be starting at 10. I'm going to be casting the Fluhfie versus Tordread game. Game start at 10, so we have a little bit of time to kill here first. Yeah, let me know in the chat if you're here, and also how the audio balance sounds between both my mic and the background music. Yeah, just have the game pulled up in the background to provide some tunes. Hello everyone. Good to have everyone here. Yeah, we're gonna be starting games soon, but it should be a good time. Very early for me. Normally I record more towards the afternoon at like 1 to 3 time frame, so waking up a bit early for this one. But yeah, super excited for the tournament. I imagine everyone's gonna be multicasting or multi-tabbing these games. That's what I would do at least. So if you have 7 or 8 different streams open, that's probably the play. If you mute mine, I understand. I wouldn't want 7 casters talking my ear off either. But yeah, glad to have you guys here. In front of me, you have the highest stakes game between myself and Poland of all time. Really high level stuff going on here. We are still trying to make sure all the players are here for the tournament. I know both of my players are here, so at least this game will be going on time, but I think we have pretty much everyone now confirmed. Right. I should go ahead and mention that obviously this is not the map that we're going to be playing on. The reason for that is we wanted to keep the maps as secret as possible for this tournament until pretty much the very last second to make sure that none of the players could get any prep. So as we're speaking, we're 20 minutes out from the matches. The players still don't know what the round 1 map will be, which is pretty exciting because it kind of mimics what a real live league is, right? Where you're thrown into a map pool where you may not even know what the map is depending on how much you play live league. And then obviously the tiers of the match are going to matter as well. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty exciting match. We definitely have a underdog versus favorite story in ours between Fluhfie and Tordread. I think Tordread got 2nd place in Humidus APC tournament, so a very, very strong player. 1500, 1600 player. Known for being hyper aggressive as well, which is something that I think is going to probably play into his benefit here in some of these maps. And then Fluhfie, who is another content creator, definitely a little bit lower on the ELO, I think somewhere in the 1300 to 1400 range, but definitely still a really strong live player, someone that we shouldn't count out in this match. And with how crazy the maps are going to be, just spoiler there, that they're pretty wild. It's definitely going to be an exciting match. case again, if you guys are curious about the prize pools, I can pull those up real quick. Let me transition to that. Yeah, okay, so here's, you can see it there in the bottom left. So players just showing up will get $50 for not winning any of the games, for just losing in the first round. Making it past the first game is 110, making it to the semifinals would be 180, and then second place is 300, and first place is the full 500. So really, honestly, a really high stakes tournament. You know, it always surprises me a little bit with Advanced Wars by Web for, you know, how small and niche your community might be, that honestly how well funded these tournaments are. So yeah, really excited for the players for this opportunity, and yeah, just super excited and happy to be able to cast a game. If you ever see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at the Discord chats. Just checking in on everyone, making sure everyone's ready to both stream and that the players are ready to start the match. If you guys don't know, I think there's a prediction form that you can fill out if you want to do a little bit of fantasy football-esque predictions for this tournament. I think Humida had it somewhere in the Advanced Wars by Web Discord. If you search for predictions, you may be able to find it. It's a Google form. I filled mine out like 3 or 4 days ago, so it's been a while. But yeah, it's a good opportunity there if you want to make some guesses about who's going to win. I think everyone in the tournament, I can say that as well. Let me find that link. Hopefully you guys can hear the music, or else I just look like an insane person. Oh my god, where'd this go? I know where I can find it. It's the Scroll Up Adventures. Alright. So the winner of this match, Tordread versus Fluhfie, will face the winner of Deejus' match, which is going to be Toulouse versus Sonya the Superior. And then everyone else in the tournament, we have Sprightmare, DeadFS, Frederick Ranks, Poland, Surgith, Tethys, Chloe Box, Wealthy Tuna, Laska Larner, Advanced Noob, Starflash, and Truneth. Yeah. Really strong group here. Everyone is, I think, plus 1200 rating, at least in live play standard. So yeah, it's going to be a really competitive group. Even some matchups that you see that might be some little lesser known players, like Frederick Rance going up against Poland, he can absolutely still win that game, just by the strength of everyone here. So yeah, it should be a really good opportunity for everyone. Hey Diego, what's up? Yeah. Game's going to start here in 13 or so minutes, so we're excited. I'm looking here about how I should submit my results into the official bracket. We have a Google Sheet with everything, so I gotta make sure I know how to do that. I'm gonna go back to the prize pool for a little bit while I answer some questions here in the Discord. Alright, we're back. Yeah, a lot of craziness still going on here. Last minute stuff. But I think hopefully everything is pretty much figured out by now. Yeah, for anyone who hasn't been here or just got here, my name is Mansa Musa. I'm going to be one of the casters for the Chimps and Champions tournament, and I'm going to be covering the Fluhfie versus Tordread game. It's going to be a really exciting matchup. Definitely an underdog versus favorite scenario there, with Tordread being the second place finisher in Humidus APC tournament, so an incredibly strong player, and Fluhfie more known as a content creator, but also a really strong player, at least 1200 live rating in standard. So he absolutely has a chance in this match. DAU, if you're here, or if anyone else is here, let me know how the audio mixes between how I'm talking and the music in the background. Let me know if I need to change anything. Also, let me know if you can even hear the music, or else, yeah, I'm just bobbing along to nothing. I think this is Kindle theme, if I'm not mistaken. I used to know none of the themes by heart, but ever since I started doing content, I've had to memorize where everything is and always pick the right files. Key in the volume's okay. Awesome. Let's go. Yeah, this is my very first live stream, guys. So if I'm a little rusty or inexperienced in some stuff, give me a little bit of a break there. But yeah, it's because yeah, I've just never done this before. I've only done content or longer term recordings. One thing I'm noticing is that I can see the chat, but I'm not sure it's updating for y'all. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay, for some reason, the window capture broke. I'm trying to fix it now. Alright, let me know if we're back there, guys. I literally had to remake the entire page because it broke when I was trying to fix chat, but I think everything's in order now. Right on the buzzer beater here with 2 minutes left, 3 minutes left. Let me make sure I'm not missing any game links. All games were created. Okay, I'm gonna put you guys on Be Right Back again really quickly. Sorry, but I'm gonna make sure I can pull up the game I need to cast. Hello, hello everyone, we're back. I just figured out everything I needed to figure out. I know where the link's going to be now, to the game that we need to be casting. Okay. All games have been created, good. Okay, I guess I'll start the YouTube recording right now for the VOD. Yeah, so hello everyone, my name is Matsumusa. I am a content creator in the Advanced Wars by Webspace, and today I'm going to be casting the game between Tordread and Fluhfie for the Chimps and Champions Cup. It's round 1, we're about to get to the map pulled up here in a second. This is just a dummy map up here right now because we don't want the players to have seen the map. So I'm going to put you guys on be right back really quick and then pull up the actual map for round 1 here. Coming back from the Discord here, you'll notice that this is the same map. That's because there's some technical difficulties going on. I think the links that were sent out were for the wrong game settings. So we're going to figure that all out, guys, and then get this game started quick. Yeah, they're saying in the Discord that the links sent out were for Fog and Tier 0, which is yeah, those were not the settings that were supposed to be at the bare minimum. Alright. There's like 80 different messages all happening at once here in this Discord. Let me see if we got to the actual link that we need now. slapdash of messages going on in this Discord right now. I'm still waiting for my link. I'm really glad I did make this Be Right Back a scene, because, yeah, we're using it a bit more than I anticipated. I guess we can cut back to here for now. I'm assuming I'm going to get a Discord message, or it's going to get pinged in here once the games are back up and actually created. There's a lot of moving parts to this, if it isn't abundantly obvious so far. Obviously, we have 8 different casters for round 1. So, yeah, also going at the same time as mine stream is 7 other streams. If you go to Deejus' channel and look at his posts, he has a link with all of us and all of our YouTube pages if you're trying to multicast all of them or multi-watch all of them. Yeah, so that would probably be the option I would be choosing if I was in y'all's shoes, and then probably just muting some streams is probably the best way to get there. Bouncing around some of the games. But yeah, we're still setting up the matches right now. We have a person who's kind of the ring leader, if you will, kind of trying to set everything up and make sure everything's working well. Yeah, this is supposed to start at 10 a.m. sharp, but it is how it goes sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Be Right Back for a quick second. I think the link might be coming out. Alright, game leaks are apparently still pending. But good to know I haven't missed anything, at least. That's my biggest fear in all of this, is that I accidentally miss when I'm supposed to start my game. Okay, Fluhfie just said that the game is up and that he's picking a CO. So this is going to be close. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there, I promise. But I will have to be right back just to change the background, obviously, because this is the game against me against Poland. So I gotta make sure I get up the actual game and then adjust the camera and chat. Okay. I'm gonna put you guys on a longer term, be right back. Just because I think the link is about to come out. Okay, I just got a message from Fluhfie that they have picked their COs, but they still haven't started the game yet. So we're still close. Games are going to be starting here momentarily. I think the first game is kicking off. Not ours, but... I'm going to like 8 different places to get this link. Excellent. Okay. We have the link to the match now, but it hasn't started yet. Still waiting for the game to start. But I have the link, so this is just on the players to start the game. There's such craziness going on right now. I think 2 players are still playing the fog tag thing that was not supposed to be happening. This is what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at waiting for a game to start flashing in and out, which is something I didn't even know existed on the Advanced Wars by website, honestly. I don't want to mess up y'all's like vision. This thing like auto refreshing every 5 seconds, so we'll put it back, like be right back. But yeah, a little bit of craziness going on right now. Let me just triple check, go to Fluhfie's profile. Alright, the game's about to be force started if Fluhfie and Tordread do not start it here in a second. At which point I will be quickly adjusting the casting screen to have everything ready. And then we'll get started here, guys. Alright, we're in. Okay, hello everyone. This is round 1 on the map. Let me check what the map is. I don't even know the map. Mech power-up detected. Yeah. So this map is a really crazy map for round 1. So obviously there's APCs all over the map contesting very important cities on the near each base for the for each player. So you need to be building mechs in the early game to wipe off these APCs first, capture the properties, and then go towards the more contested ones here in the middle. This map normally ends up in kind of a line format where you have this big diagonal line where blue will be pushing towards this area, blue will be pushing actually up north towards this area, the comm tower and orange's HQ, and obviously the opposite for orange. So talking about the CO matchup here, we have Sammy for Tordread and Rachel for Fluhfie. Really interesting matchup here. Obviously, Sammy is going to be the infantry specialist, really helps in these early turns. Getting some infantry and mech engagements with that extra firepower on these APCs is going to help clear them off easier. And the double time actually has a lot of play here in the early part of this game because that early movement is going to be very valuable going across some of this heavy terrain like the mountains and near the contested properties. I like Fluhfie's pick of Rachel as well. Could definitely be really strong. You have a somewhat base-light map, only 3 bases as opposed to 4, which is going to make covering fire even stronger. You even have some plays here for Lucky Lass if you're trying to wipe off some of these APCs early. A lot of viable stuff can go on here. Also really important to notice, because there's so many pre-deployed APCs, you're going to get charged a lot faster on this map, which means that these powers, especially something like Double Time or Lucky Lass, could come in a lot faster. So you see Tordread go ahead and clear off the APC here in the corner with the first mech of the game for him. Capture order is a little bit interesting here, how fast you want to go towards some of these contested 6 here that you see in the center versus getting more of your own properties in the back line. It also depends a little bit on your builds there, whether you're building mechs and how early are you building those mechs and deciding this. Another good play is to capture this airport here and build an early battlecopter to help knock off some of these APCs as well. We'll see what Tordread ends up going for. Fluhfie going out here first to some of these contested 6 properties that we saw here in the middle. Also, the comm tower and HQ here can also be pretty weak and contestable. The comm tower more than the HQ because it's a little bit further towards blue here, but you do have to be careful, especially in a Sammy match, that you have to look out for victory march here. Fluhfie's HQ could be easily run over. You do see that there's no black boat or any pre-deployed unit on it, so it definitely is a risk in this game. Increment for this match, I believe, is 5+2, which is around, I believe, standard live settings, so players should be used to this type of time format. We do see early that Tordread has a little bit of a time advantage on Fluhfie, though it's not a large one. But we will keep an eye on it. This map is somewhat on the smaller side, so time is probably not going to play as big of an advantage, or not going to be as big of a deal. But we do have to keep an eye out for it, especially because Fluhfie said in the Discord, at least earlier, that his lively games tend to go to day 30, day 25, day 30. He kind of stalls out a little bit, so we'll see if that happens this game. We'll see if Tordread allows that to happen this game with the Sammy pick. But yeah, time is definitely going to be a resource in this game. I think chat on the screen here is not updating, but I can still see it in my kind of stream setup that I got going on here. So I can still see y'all's messages and whatnot. Obviously, you guys can see your own messages. I'm not sure why it's not updated on the screen, but rest assured I can see your messages, and I'll respond to any questions that you guys have at any point. We see the first non-infantry or mech build here today by Fluhfie with the Recon. Obviously, this Recon's going to have really great movement going from the base here all the way down to the city. All the way down to the missile silo here, so it has a really good opportunity to potentially interrupt the comm tower maybe, coming up on the next turn here for Tordread. I'm not sure actually Fluhfie's Recon is going to do enough damage to interrupt a Sammy cap on that comm tower, so they may need to bring in another unit to finish it off. Realizing this is probably a better view because you can actually see the cursor I'm talking about when I'm talking about moving units and whatnot. So we do see a battlecopter build here by Tordread down here in the bottom. We'll see how fast he uses that to either knock out this APC down here in the bottom, or this one that he's finishing off with some of his infantry. Yeah, so this is obviously a very mech-heavy map, so I do like the Sammy play. I think that's going to definitely be the meta pick, what most people go for, but we'll see how Rachel works out for Fluhfie. Looking at total mech counts, we have 3 for Fluhfie so far, and just 2 for Tordread, which is a little bit interesting. One, you're going to delay some of these APC clears that you have to get done eventually, and 2, mechs are just good for Sammy, so I don't know why he wouldn't be wanting to build more of them. I guess you get the early battlecopter out. But Fluhfie doesn't have the funds. Oh, wow! I was just about to say doesn't have the funds to get an anti-air, but decides double base skip anti-air is the play. Okay. Wow, that is a really interesting decision. Maybe it's a little bit forced. Maybe this battlecopter build was really strong by Fluhfie. Actually, I hadn't clocked that, sorry, just really strong by Tordread. I hadn't clocked that Fluhfie had so little funds to respond to it. Yeah, what a crazy play. Huh. Tordread going for at least this contested city up here above the pipe seam. Maybe trying to threaten the other one as well. We'll see how he handles this. We see a tank build here by Tordread as well. Sammy tanks obviously are going to be weaker than Fluhfie tanks because Sammy has that weaker firepower on her direct units. I am so curious about this anti-air build. Obviously it's to respond to the battlecopter, but to see if the double base skip gets punished really like it should be. I mean, that is a really bold play by Fluhfie to be giving that much unit count advantage away to Tordread. I understand that the anti-air was pretty necessary, but still feels, I don't know, a little ambitious. Fluhfie, though, doing a good job denying the comm tower, at least from Tordread. Interesting difference here I'm noticing in the games I'd watched on this map previously to this game. Obviously, you have the 2 base here on the right for orange player going down, and then the base in the airport going to the left, which generally means that the strong side here is the south side for orange player, and then the opposite for blue player. But Fluhfie kind of honestly is doing a little bit of a different diagonal, kind of a strong in the north, weak in the south play. He did just build a tank here in the south, so maybe he's trying to change that, and maybe these fronts are still developing a little bit. But yeah, interesting to see where the emphasis of troops is going. I think both players are actually trying to make the south side their dominant side, which is a little bit interesting. Fix the music play real quick. I don't know why it stopped. So we do see Tordread kind of grouping up here down in the south. That is his weak side, or what I would argue is his weak side, but he's really investing pretty heavily into it. We see 2 tanks, a mech, and a battlecopter. Yeah, really interesting here. Let's see how Fluhfie responds. I think Tordread is giving him a little bit of an advantage by fighting in what should be Fluhfie's strong side if he's sending the correct units down there. The bases are a little bit disconnected, obviously, so this base is a little bit far for a 2-base side, but we'll see how they handle this. This tank's going to be covering pretty much anything that the anti-air wants to get involved with. You also have to be worried about the terrain on this map. This battlecopter can very easily go north, and because of the rivers and pipe seams here in the center, it's going to be a very hard transition for this anti-air to deal with. So Fluhfie not interrupting the comm tower. I don't think he could have, given that it was Sammy. Even in the first place, so Sammy will get that advantage. Also trying to get to this comm tower down here in the south. We'll see if he's able to do it. Maybe if he walls off, he puts this anti-air here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He is safe at least from this tank. Yeah, he is safe at least from this tank. He puts the anti-air here. But yeah, he's not going to be able to block up this forest tile, I think. So this comm tower definitely could be interrupted if Tordread wants to. Obviously, one thing I didn't talk about a little bit at the beginning of this map, this is a very low funds map. You can see that we're almost at income parity here at around, what's it going to be, around 17k, I think, once all the properties are captured, something around that, 17, 18k. Which definitely favors Sammy. Lower income means you're going to be building more infantry in general, just because you don't have the funds to build a bunch of other units. And obviously with Sammy's stronger infantry, that's going to be an advantage for her. So we do go ahead and see Fluhfie, we do go ahead and see Tordread interrupt Fluhfie's comm tower cap and then kill off the recon with the mech. All of those actions were taken before Tordread gets the comm tower. It's a classic. Yeah, you hear me talk about that a lot in my replay analysis videos. Always capture the comm tower before you do your attacks, even in line play, even when you're 1600 rated. There's no excuses. Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting part of this game, though, because both players obviously have much more powerful superpowers than CO powers. But because of the APC engagements, their CO powers are almost ready already for both players. So it'll be very interesting to see if we either get a double time or a lucky last here. I would argue we would probably see closer to a double time than a lucky last. There's not a lot of great luck roll engagements that I think you could go for here. But maybe Fluhfie will surprise me. Maybe he feels like he needs to go for something bold and he goes for a lucky last. We're honestly seeing a pretty much like a handshake here in terms of this capture phase. All the cities have been captured equally by each player. The only thing that we haven't seen yet is Tordread trying to angle for this city here, which means Fluhfie is actually, I would argue, kind of winning the capture phase outside of getting this comm tower. He still needs to try to get that. But other than that, it's pretty equal across the income phase, which is pretty great for Fluhfie, as obviously Sammy is going to be the better capture phase CO. I think with those two APC eliminations, that is every single APC on the map now destroyed. So now we go into more of a standard format. Fluhfie now has Lucky Last if he chooses to use it. Not going to, instead going to front shift his units up here to the north. Interesting play. Again, now both players are going on what I would argue is their weak side. Yes, the space and airport can reinforce a little bit faster to the front than these two bases can to the southern front. But yeah, it's still a 1 base, 1 airport versus 2 base, so a little bit of an interesting decision there. I do like the unit composition though here for Fluhfie. Obviously he has the tank to address the recon, the anti-air to address the battlecopter, and then this battlecopter to address this tank who wants to front ship up to the north as well. Deciding to still try to capture this comm tower. I think Tordread's gonna have a pretty easy interrupt here though. If he wants it, could even potentially even sit on the comm tower and attack the unit on the missile silo here. Doesn't have to waste a tank to do that, can just do that with infantry, I believe. But we'll see how deep Tordread wants to go. Could potentially see a double time here to get the infantry in range to do these attacks and then capture the city at the same time. So just go ahead and clear off the capping infantry on the comm tower, brings in the mech. Ooh, 9-4 engagement there, just Sammy things. Yeah, I don't think he even really needs to use the double time here to get what he wants on this turn. Brings another infantry, clears off the infantry on the missile silo, doesn't have another unit there. Could potentially bring in the tank, but this is not going to be a good roll for Sammy at all. Goes for it, though. Yeah, I mean, 8-6, mediocre, but I guess this mech is down to 1 bullet left, which is something at least. This tank, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is going to be in range to strike this tank back if he wants, but this is a pretty deep push by Tordread here in the south. This city's potentially under threat, this city's potentially under threat. Fluhfie's going to have to decide here now, does he want to try to reinforce back into the south and defend this area? Or does he just want to go all out in the north? Good play here by Tordread. I do approve of this. If you're going to be attacking in one area, you need to pull back in the other. So retreating a bit up here in the north at the same time as this push is going on in the south. We haven't seen any tech ups yet. Obviously, there's not been a lot of money available for tech ups. But players are now at 17, 18k, which means they can get the standard build, which is the battlecopter tank infantry build, which is, of course, 18k. So Tordread can get that right now, but not Fluhfie in these current income standards. But we could also potentially see a base skip medium tank type of build, depending on if that can be viable. I would argue more for Fluhfie than Tordread, but we'll see. Obviously, semi-original would be a huge supporter of that play. So you see the mech strike. Ooh, I think that was a luck roll for Fluhfie that he did not get on the tank on the missile silo. That is really unfortunate. Ooh, I'm not sure about this one, Fluhfie. I don't hate this move if you're going to bring the infantry in and then attack potentially the mech. But this seems thin right now. This battlecopter is going to die to this battlecopter. You're going to have to front shift everything down to the south now. Attempts to do that. Let's see your walls here. Attack infantry, move down. Ooh, this feels thin, I'm not going to lie. We're definitely going to see a covering fire next turn. Units are definitely going to die here for Fluhfie. Interesting, walling off a bit more in the north. The fight now again is in the south, which again I think it does favor Fluhfie long term, but short term these engagements were not great for him. Missing that luck roll on the take on the missile silo is a really unfortunate roll. I think it's just 2 tanks here. That's what I would be going for. Yeah. I approve of the builds. He's got to get them into this fight though quick. Time-wise, both players are doing good. Almost 15 minutes each. I think the boss evil villain music is pretty accurate here for Tordread. I think Tordread would be wise here to spend a little bit of time, figure out what he wants to do. Does he want to go in further on this attack in the south? Does he want to front shift? It's a really tricky turn because you can very easily overextend here. You do not want to be in base range of these 2 tanks. Trying to think about what I would do in this scenario. You're not getting victory much this turn. Fluhfie has the reinforce advantage H2O, yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Sammy should pull back here. I think Tordread is agreeing as well, gets a nice free hit there with the mech, knocking that tank down to 7 HP. Just taking the good terrain engagement there. Maybe he walls up a little bit around this city, tries to confirm that. Cap down in the south. Nice off the mech. I don't particularly love that if you're not going deeper. Oh, okay, this is weird. I'm not sure I like this from Tordread. You're moving back some tanks, but then you're still going aggressive with others. You're throwing away this battlecopter to the anti-air. This feels like you're about to lose a bunch of units. Battlecopter retreats, anti-air comes in, kills off the battlecopter on the comm tower, tanks come in, kills off this tank on the forest. And then what do you got here? Flipping 3 infantry and a 3 HP tank on an HQ, you got nothing. It feels like you threw away a lot of this. Tank comes in to reinforce a little bit, but I don't know. I don't like that. Why is Cobalt ISO purple? It's a good question. I think it's royal blue, but you know, some people see colors differently. It is. I will give you. There's a little bit of purplish hue in there for sure. Yeah, I don't. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm not, you know, a 1500 player like Tordread, but I am not a huge fan of this attack. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This tank is the only one in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Does retreat this tank, which I think was good. So you're really just throwing away the battlecopter, I guess, and some infantry. But still, you're throwing away a battlecopter. Covering fire is going to be coming in here. This could be pretty good covering fire. Missile is going to be landing here. Going to be an infantry missile here. I won't bother going into move planner to look at all of them, but yeah. This is going to be, I think, a pretty powerful turn for Fluhfie if he plays it right. If I ever go out of frame, guys, by the way, just let me know. Obviously, my camera frame is on the smaller side. Covering fire comes in, and okay, yeah, so it was 2 missiles here and then 1 missile up here. This missile kind of a waste, but wow, this missile was super powerful. It landed right here. killed off 3 tanks and a anti-air. That is a crazy strong covering fire. Yeah, Tordread, did he not... I would have taken, you have so much time, I would have taken at least a couple minutes looking the move planner for where those missiles were going to land. Having it wipe off 3 tanks and an anti-air is pretty brutal. None of those troops either were on cities where they could have healed any of that damage. That feels like a blunder, I'm not going to lie. I would have taken the time there, you know it's coming the next turn. This was a good bait here, but it just felt like nothing else was baited. I would have tried to maybe bait one up here in the north, or, you know, you could bait one over here in the south if you want, but keep it where your tanks are on cities and Fluhfie can't reach them in that turn. Fluffy's just got to protect against the victory march. Yeah, I like putting the tank in the city. Really smart. Nothing that Tordread has right now can clear that off. He is kind of pushing on both sides, which is questionable. These infantry engagements are still going to go really strong for Tordread, even on superpower here for Fluhfie. You could lose a lot of troops here. I do think putting the tank here was a good idea, but I think you could have put it pretty solo, just have the mechs defend it, and then I probably would have put these infantry here more towards back like this, where I'm doing with my cursor. Just play it a little bit more defensively, but we'll see. Do like the battlecopter build. There's not an anti-air in sight. Fluhfie doesn't have one. Yeah, I think the one he had died. Yeah, it died by this tank. So I'd be pumping out battlecopters right now if I was Fluhfie. Okay, I think Tordread is going to take some time here. This is not a good position for him. We may have the Fluhfie upset, which I predicted, by the way, in my predictions. I said he could win. I believed. But Tordread obviously still an incredibly strong player. So he's definitely not out of this game. I do think he's going to take some time here, though. Or not. I thought he might plan a little bit more, even. Maybe take a couple minutes to figure out a victory march turn. Maybe just taking the easy stuff first. Yeah, it seems weird to be doing infantry and mech moves early, because if you're doing a victory march, those units would have more movement. That's leading me towards the idea that he's not going for his victory march this turn, which is a choice. See the mech go down, get some hits on these infantry. Yeah, I think these are going to be really good engagements for Tordread. I think Fluhfie went a little bit too deep with these infantry. Just kind of threw away some units. I'll say it off the bat, I think both players have not played at their top level by any stretch of the imagination. I think Tordread really threw away a bunch of troops down here in the south. I think Fluhfie is throwing away some infantry up here in the north. I think Fluhfie still has the edge. I mean, obviously up 30k. Tordread can only build 20k worth of units here, so Fluhfie's gonna have about a 10k income advantage on his turn. That's very strong. But yeah, I think both of these players are blundering a little bit in this match, and that favors Fluhfie, obviously, as Tordread was definitely the better player coming into this match. You have to be very careful here. This is a very tricky setup of units here for Tordread up here in the north. I think he may be trying to front shift some of his tanks here, clear off the tank on the HQ, and just go for a pure victory march. I would love to see Fluhfie here just bring this battlecopter in. It can't reach the HQ on this turn, but next turn just literally sit the battlecopter on the HQ. It doesn't have to do a single other job, but literally just sit there and protect. Good play here by Tordread. I like the anti-air. It's going to be necessary to kind of thwart off that plan. Yeah, I think Fluhfie has to be very careful here. I think he needs to really invest up here on this north side, or else we could see a pretty devastating victory march push. These infantry should retreat, I would say, as well. You don't want to keep on losing infantry here needlessly. This is, Fluhfie said his game's normally good at day 25, day 30. I do not think we're going to see that type of game. It has been very aggressive so far. We are at the crux of the game, I would say. I think players should spend some time here, figure out the best move. Even if you spend 4 or 5 minutes, I can yap on, don't worry. And figure out the best play. Probably has a choice here whether to go for the flip of the city or to capture the comm tower here. We'll see what he goes for. not going to be able to kill that unit. I think both players are still playing too fast, to be honest. Take some time. You both have like at least 13 minutes. Figure out the best turn. Okay, Fluhfie being a little bit more conservative here, not going for the cap, not going for the flip. I think that's fine. Going for the Comm Tower cap, that's going to be very hard for Tordread to interrupt. He can do it with this tank, and he's going to be throwing away this tank. I do appreciate this front shifting of the units here by Fluhfie. I think it's very important. He's recognizing that he needs to protect his HQ. One thing that I'll say could be a pretty cool play here by Tordread if he's going to go for it this turn. I don't think he can go for it this turn. I don't think he has the strength to clear off this tank. Unless he really takes his time to find it, but one thing you could do is move all your infantry here to block off this reinforced path, especially on a victory march here. And you could take that one turn advantage, you block all these units from immediately coming to reinforce and protect the HQ. Could be a play, obviously it's very aggressive, kind of an all-in play. So we'll have to see what Tordread wants to do. I do like this defense here by Fluhfie. Yes, he's throwing away some infantry potentially, but also knocking off a lot of infantry that were in range to potentially go for the Comm Tower cap. Sorry, for the HQ cap. We do see a medium tank buy here by Fluhfie. Saved up some units for it. Semi-original going to be a huge fan of the buy. Yeah, this one is on a knife's edge, folks. We got a grim theme to celebrate it. I would be taking my time here if I was Tordread. I would spend like probably at least a minute or two in Move Planner seeing if I can get this victory march off. I think the answer to it is no. But it's a close no. The two tanks can probably knock the tank down to 3 maybe. Mech's not in range. You'd maybe want to use the recon that can maybe take off another HP. Infantry full attack maybe knocks off another HP. I don't think you ever clear that tank. I think you need it down to 1 or 2 HP, but I don't think you ever clear it. I think you need to wait another turn, get more tanks up to the north, get a the anti-air up to the north to deal with the battlecopter. Yeah, I think Tordread is rightly taking his time here. I don't think, honestly, that this is the push that he was hoping for. You can't get the HQ on this push. I think you need to wait a little bit more. Potentially get some counterplay down the south. Front shifting to the south here seems bad. Like, it just doesn't feel great. But it could be the best move as well, because you're also running away from the medium tank buy that Fluhfie did in the north. Why is the chat frozen? It's not. I'm sorry. It is frozen on the screen, but I can still see chat on my streaming setup, so I can still see y'all. And last time I tried to fix chat to make it live update on the screen, it broke the entire setup. So I'm choosing the bird in the hand over two in the bush. You know, I don't want to break this whole thing just to fix the problem that isn't really there, because obviously you guys can still see the chat. And I can still see the chat with my setup, I just can't see it on the screen. The Tordread notably taking at least 3 minutes on this turn. Okay, we see a victory march. He's found something. He wouldn't be doing this unless he didn't find something. He sacrifices the tank into the 7 HP tank to get Victory March. I don't think he can get the HQ here, so I guess he's just doing this for cities. But what properties are he looking for? This feels kind of desperate, but we'll see. He's going to get 2 caps at least. Mech comes in, clears off the battlecopter in the south. 3 cities, he gets that one as well. He's going to get a lot of income, but this feels like the classic Sammy mistake where you get a lot of income, but you're not going to be able to protect it. Is there a capture limit? Capture limit's 27. I don't think we're going to see that come into play. Ooh, I don't know. This feels desperate by Tordread. He is also committing even harder up here to the north, which again I think plays into Fluffy's advantage. Also, you're not threatening the Victory March anymore. It's going to take forever and a year to recharge all that. So as long as Fluffy stays calm here, knocks off some infantry, brings the medium tank in, plays around the range of the anti-air, I think he's going to be in a pretty good spot. Yes, indeed, Victory March time. I don't think it was the best Victory March, though. I think Fluffy has this in the bag if he takes his time. That felt like a desperation push by Tordread. I mean, he is going to be a 22k for a couple turns here, but what can you really do with it is the question. I think maybe you send, if I'm Fluffy, I send one more tank down to the south as well to try to confirm this comm tower. And you just, I would have potentially just blocked it off, but this kind of does the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I actually don't like this. I would have sent these tanks here to just block off a little bit. Okay, he's going for this wall. That's fine. But now you're committing a lot of tanks down to the south, which I think you don't really want to do because the fight's not up here. You need to be more protective of the fight here. So I don't think that was the optimal choices there for Fluffy. He needs to kill these infantry. He needs to kill a bunch of infantry this turn. They're the biggest threats. Just target fire those down. You're going to be winning all the other engagements with the vehicles. You have the medium tank coming in. Just kill as many infantry as you can right now. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is outside the range of the anti-air. I love it. You better put a strong unit on that HQ, sir. You better put a strong unit on that HQ, sir. Victory March are not coming, but you still don't want him capturing that. Not with the extra bonus to captures that Sammy has. It can still be a threat. I maybe would have kept the tank on the HQ. I don't think Fluffy had a good way. Sorry, I don't think Tordread had a good way to knock it off. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of units in the way. So even if Tordread is going to go for this HQ cap, it's probably not going to work. I'm honestly, the more I'm looking at the board state, the more I'm fine with it by Fluffy. He's just playing with fire a little bit. You never want to have an open HQ with Sammy infantry close. I think we're close to GG's though. This is looking really bad for Tordread. Yeah, Fluffy just has to get some of these caps back, which I think he can do pretty easily, 3 days from now, 4 days from now. And then he'll be in a great spot. The only hope Tordread really has here at this point is finding a fight that he likes, which I can't see one on the board, but finding a fight and then probably, I mean, you could go base skip Neo Tank here and just throw out a unit that's like, how does Fluffy respond to it? How does Fluffy fight that unit? The answer which normally is just ignore that unit and run away from it, but we'll see what he does. I do wonder if Tordread's committing more infantry here that are just going to die up here in the north. I don't think he even honestly attempts to get the HQ. It's not going to go through. I think Tordread needs to front shift to the south. I think the medium tank's coming in. It's basically here at this point. It's way too dangerous. You need to take the fight, the advantage fight that you have, which is going to be in the south, at least for now, and potentially build a Neo tank or something to give Fluffy a target he just can't handle. Instead, he's going for some infantry engagements, trying to reduce unit count numbers, but all 4 of these infantry are dead. Anything he commits more is probably going to be dead as well. Fluffy going to get the comm tower next turn as well. Yeah, I agree. H2O turning it into a vehicle fight is bad for Tordread. Just... Sorry, just had to check something real quick. Yeah, Tordread's still kind of going in deeper here. We do see the medium tilt tank build up in the north. Semi-original approved, but it's going to be too slow, I think, to really have a lot of influence there. I think Fluhfie's smart. He captures the comm tower, but kind of retreats in the south, kills this infantry in the back line, gets his infantry ready to take the city back. Just kind of relax. Build some more units here so the tanks have to fight into your reinforcement range, and then go more all out up here in the north. You still have all the vehicle advantage that you want here. All these infantry are dead. Even this medium tank build is not going to be good enough because your medium tank is much stronger as Rachel than Sammy's medium tank. I think the mistake here Fluhfie can make is getting too aggressive in the south. These are Sammy tanks, but they're still dangerous. You still have lower tank numbers. It's still weaker. Really smart engagement here by Tordread. It's going to slow down the cap of this city. This infantry can come around and kill it the next turn, so it's not blocking movement too much, but I still like it. Yeah, I think you kill these infantry, get this mech capturing this city. It's going to force this anti or something else undesirable to have to interrupt. We do see the comm tower finally got by Fluhfie here. Medium tank comes in, kills off the infantry on the city. Really nice. I think he's going to help wall off these units a little bit. Tank comes in, mech captures up there. Again, love it. The only thing that can interrupt now is this anti-air. Like that too. Bring the battlecopter down south to help address these tanks. This anti-air is going to have problems coming down here. It can come down here to help defend, but then the battlecopter just comes back up to the north, right? You're constantly chasing it. This was really smart by Fluhfie. I like this turn. I'm going to love this turn if he retreats in the south with these units. Oh my god, I'm loving this turn. Fluhfie's cooking. He is stream sniping this game. Oh, he's playing really well. Love it, love it, love it. Even if you lose this comm tower, who cares? You know what I mean? And that's the other really beneficial part, right? You're winning now in the area of the map that has your HQ, so it's defended. Who cares if he really pushes in that far in the south? Now, this is a tricky spot for Tordread. I do not envy this position. I think Fluhfie played really, really smart on this turn. He also has the time advantage now, 5 minutes. I think you could potentially build the battlecopter here this turn as well. This anti-air does not want to be getting in business with whatever you have. I do like the artillery buy to help deal with the medium tank. I think I would have preferred a battlecopter though, honestly. This anti-air doesn't want to be near anything that's going on right now. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Anti-air does come in to interrupt. That's a dead anti-air though, which is why I would have liked the battlecopter even more if he did that move. Tordread very desperate here to maintain his income advantage. He has 24k this turn, really strong. He can build Neo-Tank infantry, but it is a Sammy Neo-Tank, so, you know, who really cares? I think Fluhfie would be good here to actually maybe save a little bit of money. You can build the response unit and then get these cities in the long term. right? Like, you're gonna get the city in a few turns, you're gonna get the city in a few turns. This city, you actually kind of need to reinforce a little bit. It's gonna take a little bit longer. I do think we're gonna see a Neo tank by this turn. Yeah, George is just going for the full income denial. I'm watching Poland right now, the way he's playing this. The thing is, when you build all these units like this, the next covering fire is going to be really, really brutal. I mean, 13 unit count? Ugh, the next covering fire is going to be devastating. That's the thing with covering fire. It gets even stronger the lower your unit count is because you can't bait it as much with infantry. Like, Tordread right now has 5 infantry. How are you going to bait a covering fire when you have 5 infantry? And then this build, we're probably going to see another very powerful unit in the Neo tank coming out. I'm expecting that. Yeah, honestly, super gangster play here by Fluhfie. Bring the medium tank in here, kill the anti-air, build a battlecopter this turn, and save up some funds, and then the next turn build a bomber. Bomber addresses both the medium tank and the Neo tank that was just built here as well. Bring in the other tanks to wipe off some of these tanks in this area, confirm these caps, but angle towards the bomber build, not this turn, but the next turn. We'll see if he goes for it. I still like Fluhfie's position here, but Tordread has done a good job coming back a little bit. It's mainly off this income that he's gotten with his units. Interesting, Fluhfie now threatening some of this HQ caps. This infantry can come in immediately. Oh, interesting. I love this from Fluhfie. He's turning the game on its head. Okay, it feels like we're throwing away some units there, but the thing is, what this is going to force is all of these units that were trying to get an advantage here up in the north are now going to have to come to the south to address this. I mean, Tordread has no option. He has to address this HQ threat. Wow. You think he'll go for Bomber too, H2O? I'd love to see it. I think Fluhfie is playing this game amazingly right now. Bring in the tank, get a hit here on the HQ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think tank here, and then sit a tank on the HQ, honestly. Just take up all the high terrain tiles that are available. Like, who cares about this tank? Who cares about the medium tank? Goes for those hits. I would like to see the clearing out of the tank on the HQ just so you can sit on it. Not even for Victory March, I don't really care about that, but like... Goes for it, doesn't get it. You just want to sit a unit there, right? Because now the medium tank, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It actually can't come in, but this tank can come in and essentially get a really nice hit. Kill off this tank here. Is not angling for the bomber build based on the funds he's saving, but he is bringing in the battlecopter. Battlecopter can still do good work, and we're close to that next covering fire. I really love that turn, though, by Fluhfie to threaten this HQ. We see the, I think, really needed double time here. Mech's still not in range for this anti-air, which is unfortunate. Tank will come in and finish it off, but these infantry units just need to get closer to this fight. I mean, this HQ cap is going to be really hard to interrupt, no matter how you look at it. That's actually really good movement for the mech. That was funded by double time. Okay, good find here. Tank come in here. Does that fully kill it? Ooh, leaves it on 1. That could actually be very important here. Do like the battlecopter build there. That can help reinforce. Okay. Fluffy's done very good here, but I think he can literally just back up off this right now. Like, he doesn't need this HQ cap. If that's not his win condition, he can just retreat. He's already done a good job of pulling forces down here, making this threat in the north less powerful, and start winning more here. This next covering fire is going to be devastating. Meg comes in. Wow. Ugh. Yeah. Good double time. Good finds. Tordread's still playing very well. Yeah, I agree. I feel like Tordread is being very defensive here. H2O. Yeah, this covering fire is going to be really devastating. Maybe he can bait it a little bit with the Neo tank and infantry in the backlines, potentially. Tordread's still being very annoying, interrupting all these infantry caps. I mean, this city in the southeast is going to go through, but the rest of them, I don't know. I mean, I will say this about Tordread. I would have been resigned multiple turns ago. He's playing this better than I could have, for sure. But this still feels like Fluffy's in the driving seat. When does he pop this covering fire? I think he was probably a move planner on Tordread's timer, trying to figure out the best way to do it. Interesting to be going for these engagements before the covering fire. I have to imagine it's to get the missiles where he wants them. I mean, he's not getting any charge. No one's going to get any charge for these attacks. Everyone's too advanced. Okay, so we see 2 missiles down here in the south, and then 1 missile, which is really devastating, hitting the medium tank, the Neo tank, and this tank. That is a juicy one. So Fluffy's fighting a bit more into the south here, which... I don't know. I would be fighting probably more into the north and trying to get these city caps if I was Fluffy. Outside of the range hit the battlecopter, which is good. I mean, I'll give Fluffy this. I think this deck is good. He's threatening the HQ now in a few turns. Gonna get this city cap in the next turn. He really needs to clear off this mech on the HQ. He just needs to sit on it with his medium tank. I would even literally just go tank it, infantry hits, sit the medium tank, bring in the mech to be in the backlines. Oh, nice. Actually gets it without it. Really solid. Yeah, brings in the mech. Sit the medium tank here. Infantry maybe here. Infantry goes advancing, going towards the city. I mean, this... Yeah, I mean, this artillery can get hit now, but the battlecopter's covering it. I mean, unit count is a calamity right now. Tordread can get another medium tank though this turn. These properties are going to start falling though. This property is getting flipped on the next turn. This property is gonna probably get interrupted, which is good for Tordread, but he's going to lose units in the process. He's definitely going to lose at least this tank. This property is going to take a couple turns. This property is going to come. Like, he's enjoyed the income advantage a lot longer than I thought he would. You know, he's been really strong in kind of the Poland way of interrupting a lot of these city flips back. But the problem is he had to use a double time to do it, so his next victory march for double time is not going to come for a really long time. So we're about to see these income advantage turn back to where it was. Okay, I like this from Tordread kind of running away from this fight a little bit. Fluffy should retreat. Should absolutely retreat at this point. I mean, he's defending the HQ. Yeah. Take your free lunch here. Take the cities. Take the cities. Potentially, maybe even angle for the comm tower. Don't hate that. But you need to retreat down here in the south now. Wouldn't even hate going to like the deep south here because these the power units here, the Neo, the medium, and the tank aren't going to be able to reach this fast enough. So you could potentially, I was going to say you could potentially flip this city, but the battlecopter comes and blocks it. You do see a bomber build. Very interesting. I mean, I don't personally get. I mean, I love a bomber, but I don't personally really get it from Tordread. There's no Neo tank or anything out for Fluhfie. I mean, the medium tank's up here in the north, but like, You just build a single anti-air, you kind of defend it. I'm not a huge fan of the bomber build, unless you're really trying to go all out to protect your HQ, but I really don't think your HQ is under that much threat that you need to build a bomber. I mean, it's a base skip for it too, which is really tough when you're 13 units down. Yeah, just take your free launch here. Shift all these units down, back up, protect, and take your lunch. Ugh, I'm not a huge fan of this. This seems aggressive. I don't know. Seems bold. Like an unnecessary risk. This tank's gonna come down, the Neo's gonna get a nice hit. Yes, the artillery blocks, but I don't know. I don't hit the bomber purely for mobility, H2O. Yeah, I see that. But what's its target? You know what I mean? I would have preferred, honestly, just another Neo tank. You're then opening yourself up to the Fluhfie bomber, but I don't know. Knocking the Neo down to 5, don't hate that. I'll tell you one thing, Tordread desperately needs an anti-air. There's 3 Fluhfie battlecopters coming in, and he has nothing. He has 1 battlecopter of his own, but like, who cares? It's not in the right position. Fluhfie kind of needs everything right now. I mean, Tordread kind of needs everything right now. I would move these units up to the north. You got to get out of the range of these power units here. Yeah, back up a little bit. I'd also keep this infantry safe. You want to potentially threaten the HQ, be annoying. We'll see. We'll see how deep Tordread goes this turn. But at this point, I think Fluhfie's done good enough to win. I mean, that is 12 to 28 and 69 to 112 is just brutal. Also saving up more money potentially for a bomber coming next turn. Could do a base skip bomber. Hey, Advanced Warrior, thanks for stopping by. I'm guessing your game ended. We have an absolute dogfight here between Fluhfie and Tordread. I think Fluhfie's in a really good spot to win. Got a big upset alert here. I will say, I think Fluhfie's been in control pretty much this entire game. I think he maybe had literally 1 blunder in the entire match, and it was when he had his infantry too close to Tordread's other units when he was defending his own HQ. I thought they should have been more positioned over here. He had him positioned towards the comm tower, and he just lost a bunch of them for pretty much no reason. But pretty much right after that, Tordread went too deep in an attack and just kind of threw the advantage back to Fluhfie. But yeah, I think he's been playing very, very strong outside of that. Fighter H2O could be a good play. Maybe. I'm not sure how needed it is, honestly. I honestly don't think that bomber's a huge threat. Yeah, it doesn't protect this. The medium tank can still come in and get a hit here. Also, with the anti-air build that would just happen, which was smart to address these battlecopters, the fighter is potentially less good. Yeah, bring this anti-air up here to the north. The it sits here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can defend this medium tank. Medium tank can still get the hit in. You can potentially even block it off. Oh, you know, it'd be cool. Block it off with the battle copters, so it doesn't have a good access point. Nice Neo takedown. Yeah, I love this from Fluhfie. Block it off with like the tank here, then send in the medium tank. How do you get through with the bomber? Getting this Gon Tower cap now as well. Yeah, Fluhfie's playing great. Yeah, I mean, out of respect to Tordread, he's tried to put him in a lot of difficult positions, but Fluhfie has just been responding really, really well, and now we see that he actually has the income advantage. Yeah. Man, I'm such a fan of how he's playing this. I would have potentially even literally... I mean, yes, you're getting the base lock, so I'm not going to say anything about it, but maybe even put the artillery here, that way the bomber has literally no routes to get to this medium tank. I think if he did that, it would have had no routes. Maybe you can kill this tank with the anti-air and then it comes through. I'm never going to say no to a base lock, though. I've said it a lot because I thought Tordread might resign earlier, but I do think this is GG's. I would have maybe even liked, honestly, a T-copter build there. You have the money for it, bring these infantry into the front line faster. Really start flexing on them. I think this is the resign turn. Wow, what a game by Fluhfie. I think he played pretty much perfectly, honestly. Very, very strong. I think Tordread is in his rights here to take a few minutes, see if there's another opening, but I don't see it. That's so strong. He's gonna go for it, uses the bomber to clear off the artillery. Anti-air non-range to do anything about it. Get the double time. This... I don't know, this almost feels like a throwing all your units out and then resigning at the end of your turn just to get some extra attacks. We could potentially even see a lucky last this next turn. I'm not even joking. Lucky last to clear off a unit on the base that he's going to build. Yeah, lucky last attack this and then potentially sit a unit on the base. Could be interesting. With the extra con tower. If Tordread wins this game, I'll eat a shoe. I think Fluhfie has this in the bag. I do think you have to be a little bit careful here if you're Fluhfie not to overextend too much. I would just take some of these three properties. Honestly, at this point, I would angle for the HQ cap. Bomber, medium, tank. A lot of the available funds that Tordread has left are just not really in range yet. You can come in and you probably get that HQ cap pretty easily. Opts to not go for that. Goes for an attack before you get the comm tower. Classic. Yeah, again, I would just angle for this city and this HQ. That's what I'd be going for. You're fighting in really deep right now. I mean, you're winning, so you can do it, but like... We do see the lucky glass. He's going for it. Oh! Doesn't get the roll. Very unfortunate. Wow, none of these have been great rolls, honestly. Give him one. Yeah, there's one. Give him another. Pretty good. Nice. I mean, honestly, none of those were spectacular rolls. The big one there is if he could have gotten the kill on the medium tank on the base. You want to make sure this bomber can't wrap around and hit this medium tank. That'd be the disaster. I mean, it can if it sits on the base, which honestly might just be the play here from Tordread. We do see the fighter build that you were talking about, H2O. Looks like GG, Keaton. Yeah, it's looked like GG for a while to me, but Tordread keeps on fighting, and he keeps on getting himself into positions that are really bad, but I think somehow we're still in there. If nothing else, it's the content lucky last. True. Yeah, Tordread resigns before Fluhfie even ends his turn. Wow, excellent, excellent work. What a game by Fluhfie. I think he played that game spectacularly. I think I saw one flaw in the entire game, and that was just with infantry position, and it was niche. I think he played that game excellently. Yeah, I think Tordread just had some mistakes early on. I think he threw away some units on a push down the south. I don't think he was ever in control, didn't really have a good victory march. He threw away kind of his victory march just to get a few properties, which did give him the income advantage, which he kind of fought for, but the HQ was really never under threat. Yeah, I think Fluhfie played that game excellently. Really, really, really good. Alright, I'm going to transition here, guys, to be right back really quick just to put these results into the sheet. But I will come back after that, and then my stream's actually going to end after this first round. But to keep on watching Fluhfie keep on playing, it'll be on Deejus' stream, I believe. It'll be the next one, so I'll link that in the chat as well after I put in these results. It was done for me. Excellent. It was done for me. I don't even have to do anything. I love it when that happens. You took my penguins away from me. That was a mistake. I should have switched it, Fluhfie. I love the blue and orange colors, but yeah, I should have switched it. I should have made you blue, and I should have made Tordread orange. What a game, though, Fluhfie. Honestly, I think you played that game pretty much perfectly. I saw one flaw the entire match, and it was just with infantry positioning. But literally, I mean, you can watch the VOD, but like every single play, I was like, here's what I think you should be doing. That's what you were doing. Yeah, I mean, what a game. I think Tordread made some mistakes early on with his tanks in the south. I think he was throwing away some vehicles. I think his victory march was kind of thin. Just gave him some few property flips. Never really had a chance to threaten the HQ. And I think he did a good job of trying to keep that income advantage. I think he played a lot like Poland, trying to attack a bunch of infantry on cities and try to keep that as long as he could. But I think he just played really, really well. Yeah, I don't think he ever overextended too much. I think he just played the advantage that he gave you. You took the board state that you needed. It felt like you were in control the entire time. Aqua, this is my favorite round one match so far. I haven't seen the other round one matches yet, but this one was a banger. And Fluhfie, I'll have you know, I did predict this. I did say in my predictions that you were going to beat Tordread. So I believed the whole time. Good luck in round 2, by the way, Fluhfie. And GG's to Tordread as well. Obviously an incredibly strong player, but yeah, I mean, Fluhfie was playing his A game. My only thought was to lower unit count, so Rachel missiles go burr. Yeah, good strategy. I mean, I think Sammy is pretty meta on this map. I think for this tier at least, I saw in the Google Sheets that a lot of people pick Sammy just for the early entry engagements and the mech engagements on the APCs that you need to do. So you're already getting out the units that Sammy wants to build out early. Also, lower income map is going to favor Sammy a little bit, but I think you played really well with Rachel. I think you really took advantage of the matchup. You made it a vehicle fight at the end of the day, and that's what's going to favor Rachel over Sammy. Alright, with all that being said, guys, I think I'm going to sign off here. I'm going to end stream here and drop the link down to Deejus' stream. Everyone go over there. I'll be going over there as well. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in so much. My name is Mansa Musa, and have a great rest of your day. Alright, bye guys.